$20,000 budgeted for next year's 2017 budget. And then today we were talking, I was a little hesitant to approve anything just to make sure that the state approved our budget for next year and that there were no changes in that. And I consulted Clerk Treasurer Aldrich, and do you think it's okay to proceed without, prior to the state's approval, because if they got something that shouldn't be anything out of public safety?
Should not be.
All right. Chief, you presented us today with 5 different vehicles: a Ford Interceptor SUV, Dodge Durango SUV, Ford Interceptor sedan, Dodge Charger sedan, and a Chevy Caprice sedan. You want to give us a recommendation why you would recommend the vehicle you recommend?
Well, we have inventory of two-wheel drive vehicles right now, and I'd like to see us have something that would function better in the wintertime. I can think of a few times that we've had snows that caused our vehicles not to perform very well and limited our ability to service calls. One time in particular that I got the police car stuck myself and had to go out and ask Dave Mann to borrow one of his vehicles to drive during a period of time that we had some snow, which really caused quite a bit of a problem. Therefore, I would like to see us push towards a SUV type of vehicle, something that has all-wheel drive. I'm looking at the Ford Interceptor. It's a vehicle that's commonly used in police departments around the area. Burlington Police Department has one currently. I've included in the price, as you can see, not only the price of the vehicle, but the price that I have from a provider that we use in order to get police supplies, what it would cost to outfit the vehicle, what it costs to install the equipment, what it would cost all the way down the line to the floor mats. So everything is listed there on all the quotes that I have. So as you can see, the Ford Interceptor starts out at $28,000, and then after that, the Dodge Durango, which is an SUV as well. Both these vehicles have high clearance, which I think would be important for us to have. And then after that, I show the Ford Interceptor all-wheel drive, which is basically the Ford Taurus, if you're familiar with that. It lists for $25,000, and after that, the Dodge Charger, all-wheel drive, $23,000. And then the Chevrolet Caprice, which is just exclusively a rear-wheel drive vehicle, but I did list it there, since it is a vehicle that we would be able to service here locally should you choose to go with that. I personally prefer to have an SUV with an inventory. We have 2 Chevrolets in our inventory right now that are serviced primarily, if they have a problem, through our local dealership. And I do appreciate Dave Mann and his willingness to provide us with anything that we need. As far as the police department, he's very pro-police and has been very helpful to us. But he understands as well that the only vehicle that GM offers is the Tahoe, and it's retailing right now in police for our purposes with a police bid or a state bid at $37,000, which I think is way over the top of what we should be looking to purchase for a vehicle.
So is this Interceptor about the size of an Explorer?
Yes, it is. It's an Explorer.
So it's just equipped
With
for,
police.
for what you need, it's just that,
Explorer.
it's an Explorer.
Right. All these vehicles that are listed here are police packages.
Right. Okay.
And they are equipped with extra heater coils for the engine. They're equipped with brakes that are tuned
Right.
for police services, suspension system as well. All the vehicles are listed here are police packages.
Do they have the cryogenic rotors?
I'm not sure if each one of them have a cryogenic rotor, but they are rotors that are used for that particular purpose, police purpose.
So the Durango tricked out like comparable to the Interceptor. Are we talking proportionally the same, about $3,000 difference?
Right.
Why do you prefer the Interceptor to the Durango?
The Interceptor is one vehicle that seems to be used more in police circles. We have not had any trouble. I have not heard of anybody having any trouble with the Interceptor. The Durango, I think Tippecanoe County is just starting to use that. The sheriff's department right now, I have very little data about that vehicle. The Durango, I'm sorry, the Interceptor, the SUV has been used for quite a while now, and I haven't had any negative reports about its serviceability.
Now, the Durango seems to be a little smaller,
It is a little smaller vehicle, right?
which to me is a drawback, and plus it's a Dodge, so what else can you say?
It's regrettable, I feel like, that all these vehicles, the Durango and the Ford, are vehicles that we don't have a dealership here in our area for,
Right.
but that, I think that's.
Is this the first year that Chevy made the Caprice? Because that's, the Impala's being phased out?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor, the Chevrolet Caprice has been out for a while, but it's always been rather pricey for simply being just a rear-wheel drive vehicle. It was about the same price as it's listed at, last year, is listed at currently. So, it's just exclusively a rear-wheel drive vehicle.
Or your current Impalas are all front-wheel drive.
They are, which prevents a bit of, if you will, a ergonomic problem for my guys. I feel like they need to have something that is more consistent if they're gonna be switching vehicles often.
But the Impalas aren't available anymore?
That's correct. The Impalas are not available at this time. They are not manufacturing Impalas anymore. I don't know what their plans are for the future, if they're going to start manufacturing something similar, or what they're going to put into police service. There's a couple options they may choose to go with. They may decide to make a police package out of the Traverse, which is a SUV vehicle, which would make it pretty comparable to what you'd be paying for the Caprice, but we'll see where that
Who would
goes.
do service on the Interceptor?
Well, initially, service would have to be through a Ford dealer, probably one either Logansport or Lafayette.
And that's just while warranty's going, and then,
Yes. Or if there's a warranty issue, it would be such as drivetrain or something like that, it would go to one of the dealerships.
Does Dave Mann still do basic service on that vehicle?
He could, or we could have it done anywhere, if there's basic service that needs to be done on it. After a certain period of time, most of these vehicles, the oil changes are basically what you get for up until maybe 10 or 15,000 miles. They'll do that for free, and then after that, you just get them done wherever you can, the cheapest. And Dave Mann could easily do that. His oil change is pretty competitive.
So really, all he has to offer is a Caprice. He's not selling it anyway, is he?
He can sell us a Caprice. We could go through Mann Chevrolet to get the Caprice if we choose to do so. It'd be about $500 more, and I'm not sure if he's gonna make a lot off of it to compensate for what we'd be giving for the vehicle.
no, we'd still be getting a rear-wheel drive vehicle.
Correct.
I think it's important to have an all-wheel drive vehicle with clearance and snow and inclement weather in the fleet.
I would agree with the Mayor. I think it's important we have at least one in our inventory, so that we'll have some flexibility of usage. Make sure
You find that that the police departments, or law enforcement departments are finding that the SUV type vehicles are more durable. In other words, they last longer, they require less maintenance because they're really heavier than what a regular sedan might be.
I have done some research on that, and yes, whereas you may be able to expect to get 100,000 miles out of a sedan, you can look forward to getting more miles, somewhere 140, 150,000 miles of service out of a SUV vehicle because it's built a little bit tougher.
So ingress and egress of the vehicle, that would seem to me to be quite a bit easier, especially with your equipment, out of an SUV than it would out of a sedan.
Correct, that is correct. It would be easier for guys to get them out of. The other thing is resale value. I think it's important for us to note that our sedans, when we sell those, we're getting, for a vehicle somewhere around the 100,000 mile mark, we may be able to get 4,000 for it. For SUV, we could be looking at getting 7.5 to 8, maybe more. It's really unknown at this point because a lot of the departments aren't trading them in because they're so versatile and they're likable. Yeah, durable.
Have any more questions for Chief?
Now, the budget-wise, you're gonna encumber 20,000 from, you're gonna ask the council to encumber 20,000 from 2016. And you have how much in 2017 budgeted?
I understand I have 20,000.
Okay, that's what I thought. I would move that we accept the chief's request for the Ford Interceptor at $34,517.57,
That's fully equipped.
fully equipped, correct.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to accept the chief's recommendation of a 2017 Ford all-wheel drive SUV Interceptor. I think it's priced at the state bid at $28,976.20, including all the equipping, installation of equipment, window tinting, licensing, and registration and floor mats. We're looking at $34,517.57. Do we have any other discussion on this matter? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
We'll move next to closure of Washington Street. The parking on the courthouse side on November 19th from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Director Adams.
I was approached by the Carroll County Chamber about closing that part of the street of Washington Street to have their first annual sidewalk celebration. This stems from the completion of our sidewalks, and they want to be able to celebrate that with local commerce, and so that's the request.
What are they going to be doing that day with local commerce?
They will, that parking area will be designated for vendors. The goal is to fill the vendors in the parking spots and still allow access, drivability for Washington. To answer your question.
Superintendent Lyons, do you have any problems with that? Can we just cone it off, I guess, or leave some cones out the night before?
Yeah, I assume this is just parking stalls only?
Yes, sir, on the courthouse side.
Yeah, we can have the guy put out some cones the night before.
That suffice.
That would suffice. Thank you.
Do we have a motion for the approval of the closure of the courthouse side parking stalls on Washington Street between Main and Franklin Streets on November 19th between 8 a.m. and 5:30 p.m.? Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Second.
You can't, I'm sorry.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a.
You wanted to though, didn't you?
Well, I wanted you to do it.
Do you want me to second it?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's actually doing this?
Carroll County Chamber.
Mr. Dyward made the motion, I'll make the second. For the approval of the closure of the courthouse side parking on Washington Street between Main and Franklin on November 19th between 8 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. for a city sidewalk celebration. Do you have any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained?
Yeah.
I don't know what sound you make. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Adams. Comments from the Board of Public Works and Safety, Mr. Bradshaw?
Did we talk about the Front Street,
What about Front Street?
Aaron?
What would you like to know, Mr. Bradshaw?
Well, I think it's looking pretty good.
It is, isn't
Uh,
it?
I was kind of, in the beginning, I was kind of wondering.
They slowed down a little bit on the steps, but the steps are in, the wall's in, the cap's in. I was scheduled to put dirt in behind the wall today, but one of the contractors didn't show up, so we didn't get that done. So hopefully tomorrow we'll get it done. And then next week, you should see some stone going down, some curb, some sidewalk, and then maybe tape.
How is this end gonna be finished? How's the east end of that gonna be
The
finished?
east end, you can see where the block kind of stops.
Yeah.
So then the sidewalk's gonna kind of, call it like a 45-degree angle there. And then the fence will come all the way down also, do a little grading there and it'll blend in, and that'll terminate right there.
Is the same fence that goes on Washington going around
Correct,
all the way?
that carries all the way around, so it's a fluence, same, everything matches, and it'll come around the corner there, yes.
Because there's tons of kids over there, and hopefully,
Yep.
I'm sure they're gonna fall over, oh yeah.
And that's who's supposed to show up today to get the fence measured. They're supposed to be here tomorrow morning first thing, I believe about 8 o'clock. So they're gonna come, get everything measured up.
I think they're scheduled next weekend, start installing the fence.
Correct.
So when all that's done, they'll put the sidewalk and the curb in?
Yes, that can go in before the fencing.
Okay.
So they'll be working on that. I've got to get the dirt in before they start all that, so I don't have to climb over the top of the new curb and sidewalk. So I'm hoping to get that accomplished this week, so.
And then that's parallel parking there?
Correct.
I think it's gonna look great, because that's always been an eyesore, boy, forever.
Yeah, and you know, the whole downtown, you got those plantings going in today, and it's really sharp. I hope everybody in the community understands what a value this was to the city to get. I know all the pain and aggravation, but it is really sharp. I know you put a lot of work in. I appreciate it very much. You've done a good job. And did a good job shepherding everything.
Well, I think Aaron's crew especially, we need to be thankful for on the Front Street project, because they picked up the bulk of the work. It was kind of a combination between Milestone and the street department, and getting that hill hogged out and getting the dirt put back in.
We run into a few
That's
problems.
great.
We've overcome and we're
Good
sure to
job.
see coming from
Very
You
good
still
job.
have to hook up any lines on the alley there? What are you gonna do with those pipes coming out?
Oh, those will all be covered. NIPSCO's already there, they approved. We're gonna have about a foot cover on them, which NIPSCO's happy with. So that'll all get paid back in, curb, walk, and so it's coming along.
Yeah, it does look great.
Anything else, Mr. Bradshaw?
Nope.
Mr. Doward?
I do not.
I have one thing, Aaron, East Main Street's open,
East
looking
Main Street
good.
is open.
It's riding well. We decided to take the diamond grind out of the contract. There's $25,000. You can't tell that between the old pavement surface and the new pavement surface, we were able to do about, what we end up on patching?
Patching, not including, they didn't figure in just the concrete labor aspect of the concrete, we're sitting about 14,000. Then you gotta add in the ceiling,
Everything ABC did.
everything ABC did, so there's some joints out there that weren't addressed. That were just too far gone, so we did a little extra work, making sure that those got replaced.
Well, you know, I was working over at the office Saturday and Sunday, and I was astounded at the number of semis that were heading down since you opened that up. I think I counted 8 in the space of 15 minutes.
That's all.
Saturday, all day, just went on all day. And that's hopefully,
The council's taking that up tonight. If anything, we have the frost law. I thought it started this month. It starts December 1st and runs till beginning of May, till May 1st.
boy, that'll sure extend the life of that road.
5 months.
We can do that. Plus, I mean, those semis are really a disruption to that, to the whole downtown neighborhood. Okay, great, good job.
Thank you, Superintendent. I also want to say, keep Judge Wilmotz in your thoughts and prayers. His wife passed last night, so Judge Craig Wilmotz. Yeah, so if you could keep him in your thoughts and prayers and reach out to Judge. I'm sure it's an incredibly hard time for him. Carol did a lot of good things for the city. She helped us out with the Opera House financing. But Treasurer Aldrich, do you have anything?
I think her services to this town have been immense. And I think what a lot of people do not realize, I complained and whined about all the work that had to be done on the grant. And yet Carol kept the same set of records and did the same thing for the Preservation Society at no charge. So she worked just as hard as we did. And it wasn't just the Preservation Society. She was also, I believe, Carolyn, you correct me if I'm wrong, she's the treasurer of the library, and SIODS too, wasn't she? That we know. So the woman was quietly involved with our community.
Thank you. We'll now open the floor. Clerk Treasurer Aldrich, do you have anything to add to the meeting?
No, I really don't.
We'll open it up for public comment. Mr. Van Sickle?
Just have a clarification and a couple of comments maybe. Last week's Board of Works article in the county paper, I don't know who wrote it, but I felt my department was singled out by capital letters. The article stated something about raising property taxes to help with pay raises of some sort. Well, I want it known that the wastewater department and the water department do not use tax monies. And whoever wrote the article should have known that. It just hit me the wrong way, so appreciate you letting me put a little steam on it.
Thank you, Superintendent. Do we have any other public comments for the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting? Hearing none, could I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.